for God's sake, what a pathetic embarrassment you are. So he's like, no, my daddy was Biden. My daddy's Biden. It should have been Biden. He's fine. He's fine. We just take his brain and we stuff it back into his ear, and then he'll be fine. Okay? And so I can't believe another member. Look at me. I'm such a brave populist. I have a sweatshirt on, and I'm criticizing Nancy Pelosi for going after someone even more establishment, Joe Biden. So what was your brilliant idea? It was just think, and not what was. We know it. He thought Biden should have stayed in the race.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? We have the Young Turks, and they are going after John Fetterman, who is having a little swipe at Nancy Pelosi. And it is just a wonderful thing to see the left going to eat itself after this 2024 election. Actually, it's always fun to watch the left eat itself. They fight each other constantly. If you knew anything about history, they are the French resistance during World War II without the influence of the British. So let's go on and let's listen to them gnaw and bite at the establishment, and let's just have fun listening to it.
Senator John Fetterman back in the news, always fun. In this case, he has some harsh words for Representative Nancy Pelosi. A little bit of drums here might get spicy. He was being interviewed by Politico, and at one point the reporter asked him, after Joe Biden's debate over the summer, you didn't think he should drop out? To which John Fetterman said, we can both agree that he had a rough debate. It's an understatement. Pelosi really tried to, what's the word I'm looking for? She embraced this, she's the godmother, she's the enforcer, and now she's blaming Biden. Well, you can't have it both ways. You got what you wanted, and now you're still blaming Biden. I think it's really ironic that you have a woman at age 84 and she is still hanging on. I think he means to power, not to life. It's bad, but it's not as dark as it might seem at first. I don't know for sure, I don't know the guy actually, but anyway, why not give a younger generation an opportunity to occupy that seat? And what he seems to be referencing there is Nancy Pelosi has gone on this tour to the media and she's mostly just angering everyone. She's attacking Bernie Sanders and John Fetterman mad at her. Anonymous Democrats in the House, as we'll show you, mad at her. So she said, the anticipation was that if the president were to step aside, that there would be an open primary, adding that Harris would have done well in that and been stronger going forward, but we don't know that. That didn't happen. Basically saying,
honestly, the last time that Harris was in a primary, she got no votes whatsoever. She had to drop out, what was it, before Iowa? Or it was before New Hampshire? Somebody in the comments let me know, but she dropped off before anything major really happened. So what would make you think that she would have won another primary?
He should have dropped out sooner or not endorsed Harris. Basically, there should have been a better situation to propel Harris theoretically to winning the election. Now, Pelosi did urge Biden to run for re-election back in 2022, but she was one of his critics after the debate. Eventually, it still took quite a while after the debate, but John Fetterman hanging in there with the defense of Biden even longer than she did.
Yeah, so we thought we were sending Fetterman in to challenge the establishment because he played a populist while running for office. And remember, almost all these politicians are just actors. They're like low rent actors. And the donors go, oh, okay, who's in the acting pool today? Oh, Fetterman, he's got a sweatshirt on, nice touch. We'll pretend he's.
I mean, this coming from the guy who took $24 million. Okay, I mean, it's amazing. Okay, this man took $24 million from an investor. Okay, who basically is analogous to the people that he's railing against right now, and he's trying to tell people that he was not moved in any way ideologically by a $24 million infusion into his bank account. It's Cenk's hypocrisy is absolutely and utterly crazy. Honestly, as I said before, give me the comments whether you agree or not, and hey, hit that subscription button because honestly, we can have some great times talking about how much of a hypocrite Cenk Uygur is. Okay, thank you.
Populist. Look at this, Philip. He's going to pretend to challenge the establishment. So then he comes in there and he's like, no, I love biggest defender of the establishment. So look, we know his track record on Israel, which is, oh my God, we should send all of our American taxpayer dollars to Israel to slaughter more Palestinians. They haven't done enough. They haven't go, Israel, I love you, Israel. Oh, Mr. Populist, okay, right? What a fraud. Okay, but this is arguably in a sense worse, not worse morally, but worse in showing it's not like, oh, he has one disagreement with the left and it's on Israel, but hey, like, to be fair, he's still really progressive on other things. No, he's defending the king of the establishment, Joe Biden. You think Joe Biden should have stayed in the race? For God's sake, what a pathetic embarrassment you are. So he's like, no, my daddy was Biden, my daddy's Biden. It should have been Biden. He's fine. We just take his brain and we stuff it back into his ear and then he'll be fine, okay? And so I can't believe another member, look at me, I'm such a brave populist. I have a sweatshirt on and I'm criticizing Nancy Pelosi for going after someone even more establishment, Joe Biden. So what was your brilliant idea? It was just, and not what was, we know it. He thought Biden should have stayed in the race. And Biden's own people told Pod Save America, of course, after the election, that their own internal numbers showed that Trump would have won 400 electoral votes. 400 if Biden had stayed in. And that's Biden's people saying it, but the only one who doesn't believe it is Fetterman. Fetterman's like, no, Biden is young and dynamic, and Israel has the most moral army. Yeah, sorry, Pastor.
The Young Turks are indicative of the left in that what they do is that they will mine for the one survey that they can find that proves what they want. Now, this thing could be so far out on one end as far as surveys are concerned as possible, but you know it could be akin to like right before the election, a Harris +8. Okay, that kind of thing, and they will take those surveys and then those polls, and those will be the ones that they stick to, and they do this all the time. They've done this with healthcare. It's again, you have to understand how the left works, and the right does this too. The right picks and chooses its polls as well. I mean, please understand. I'm going to call out whoever I need to call out. Okay.
Pennsylvania. This is one of the things I feel most bad about. Look, I didn't do tribalism. There was a Turkish American running against him, and I torpedoed that guy because I thought Fetterman was a populist progressive, right? It turns out, look, Dr. Oz might have literally been better because he would not have been as vicious on Gaza. And he would not have helped the establishment lie as thoroughly as John Fetterman. So he's total trash, and Eric Adams should take him out in his trash revolution.
Apostasy is the worst sin of the left, okay? On the right or in the middle, we can take somebody moving over to the left. We wonder what it is that did that to them. We try to find them some help, okay? But for the left, apostasy is if some of the left could actually torture people to death for apostasy, they would do it in a second. I mean, listen to these people.
I agree. You know what sucks, Cenk? Like I just kind of, I don't want to push back too much, but you know what sucks about Fetterman and his whole like Daenerys arc and how much.
You know what really sucks? This is what really sucks. That this chick has more subscribers than I do. I mean, come on, for anybody that's still listening, please hit the subscribe button because seriously, I deserve more subscribers than this chick does. I mean, she's fluff. She's been fluff. Her biggest argument has always been you don't get a chance to nosh while you're standing in line to vote. Like that's the worst thing in the entire world. This millennial bullshit just has to go.
He just this 180, and the fact that we were all there for him after his stroke and we were rooting for him, you know, and there he is. I mean,
he had a D behind his name. Okay, you would have campaigned for somebody not crushing an aluminum can if it had a D scrawled on it.
Obviously, like, I don't know, Biden didn't go through a stroke that we know of, but like, you know, becoming this rabid Zionist and throwing out under all of the, you know, Palestine justice activists under the bus, it's just like so upsetting. And I will say, caveat to what I want to say, is that I think part and parcel of the reason that Fetterman was able to do that is that Fetterman didn't come from like the grassroots in a way that made him accountable. And I feel like you can track similar trajectories with someone like Kirsten Sinema, right? She, you know, and I'm not trying to like crap all over the Greens, but like she was a Green Party candidate. And sadly, the Greens don't have as much of like a grassroots network of folks that can really hold someone like Sinema accountable. I think I made calls for Sinema back in the day, right? But like, this is why it's important that if and when when we do build third parties and when we do build grassroots organizations, that we can vet these folks, that they work their ways up through different halls of power and not just, I mean, I understand like Fetterman did to a certain degree, but like the Senate is a massive leap. So that's just like broader thoughts. But what I really want to say is, at some point, we're going to need his vote. And all of us who are dumping on him, rightly so, are going to have to rely on him. Maybe it's going to be on healthcare. Maybe it's going to be on the minimum wage. Maybe it's going to be on something else. But sadly, we're going to need him. And that's sort of the disgusting politics that is the Senate. So I just want to brace everyone for that moment.
Yeah, but Franny, here's why I don't think it's relevant. I hear you, and I understand what you're saying, but he's exactly the type of guy who's going to vote against you no matter what. So if you can say, oh, you're giving him the excuse because you yelled at him too much. Well, if he didn't have that excuse, he'd come up with another excuse. Did he even have an excuse for supporting a genocide maniacally? No, he didn't have an excuse for that. Did he have an excuse for going from what he pretended to be the most left-wing senator to the most right-wing Democrat? He doesn't have an excuse for that. He doesn't need an excuse. He's like, I have a sweatshirt on, so I'm populist, I'm good. So I could just betray you at every turn. I would never count on that guy for a single vote. It could be the most core Democratic policy that he promised 2,000 times over to his voters, and he will betray you. Mark my words, write it down in stone. John Fetterman is not a guy you could ever trust. He will definitely betray Democrats. He will betray the left. He will betray populism. He will do anything that his donors ask for. He's one of the most despicable, immoral actors in Washington.
He was 2022 or 2020? 2022?
22, I think.
22, okay. Yeah, it's a little bit early, but maybe some talks should start to be going around.
Oh yeah.
I know,
100%.
but I mean, like, we got to break the wheel to go to your Daenerys, early Daenerys before the arc, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get another actor from Pennsylvania, right? And then he's gonna act as if he's a populist, and then he's gonna go, where's the donors? I got my knee pads, where are they? Oh, my beloved donors, right? So.
Honestly, again, Cenk took $24 million to keep the Young Turks afloat, okay? How is that not taking money from donors? As always, again, Cenk, hypocrite par excellence.
We got to break the wheel first, get money out of politics. You got to defeat the Democrats in a presidential primary and then use the leader of the party to change the party entirely. We all tried together to change the party from the bottom up, Justice Democrats, etc. And they went on a weird swerve, right? So presidential primary next time, defeat all the Jen Psaki's and all their stupid elitism, and they'll have Morning Joe and The View come out and go, oh, you can't vote for a populist Democrat. You have to vote for the anointed one. You have to vote for the most corporate one. That's the only way we can win. That's the only way. But now when they say that's the only way we can win, we're all gonna laugh our asses off at them. Mm-hmm. You freaking losers. You lost to Trump twice. Why would I ever listen to an idiot like Joe Scarborough or Whoopi Goldberg? They don't know anything about politics. All they know is, I'm rich, I love rich Democrats, I love rich Democrats. Oh, Bernie, he doesn't like rich Democrats, he doesn't like donors. Oh, no, you have to vote for someone else because Bernie can't win, Hillary and Kamala can. How'd that work out for us?
Bernie wouldn't have been able to win either, really, Cenk, come on.
All right. I'm animated today.
Yeah, even throwing some bombs. You should be a little bit nicer to Joe Scarborough. He could end up being the Joe Rogan of the left.
Hey, Joe Scarborough, if you don't get it, which you probably don't, we're laughing at you.
Well, there you have it, people. What do you think? That is the Young Turks taking a swipe at John Fetterman for his belief that Nancy Pelosi did the wrong thing by getting rid of Joe Biden in favor of Kamala Harris. And like I said, this is rife with commentary, guys. You let me know what happened. But again, people keep misstating the Democrats. It is not the Democratic Party. The Democrat Party is inherently undemocratic, and they showed it this election cycle, and that is what destroyed them. So tell me what you think, guys. Light me up with those comments. Like, share, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all very much. Again, it helps me with the algorithm, and it helps me get the word out. So thank you all very much. Later.